Hello everyone. Today we will discuss the next part of inner product spaces. First we will discuss the Gram-Smith orthogonalization process. So let us see what is an orthonormal basis. If V is in any inner product space, a subset consisting of ordered bases that are orthonormal is an orthonormal basis. So let us see this theorem. If V is an inner product space and S is equal to V1, V2, Vk, we have an orthogonal set of V consisting of non-zero vectors. If Y belongs to span of S, then Y is equal to summation I equal to 1 to n inner product of Y comma Vi upon norm of Vi square into Vi. That is, the coefficients are equal to inner product y comma Vi upon norm of Vi square. Now let us see the Gram-Smith process. It is a process which gives you an orthonormal set from a linear independent set. So suppose you have the set S equal to W1 to Wn, which is linearly independent. You are constructing this set S dash consisting of V1 to Vn, which will be orthogonal. If you divide each vector Vi by its norm, it will be orthonormal. And this is such that span of S dash is equal to span of S. So Vk is equal to Wk minus summation j equal to 1 to k minus 1 inner product Wk comma Vj upon norm of Vj square into Vj, where k is lying between 2 to n. So let us see this example. You have R4, you have three vectors W1, W2, W3 consisting of 4 elements. Now you want to use Gram-Smith process to compute the orthogonal vectors V1, V2, V3. So use that formula, V1 equal to W1. Next, V2 is equal to W2 minus inner product W2 comma V1 upon norm of V1 square into V1. We get V2 as 0 comma 1 comma 0 comma 1. Similarly, find V3, which will be minus 1 0 1 0. Divide each of these vectors by its norm. You will get the orthonormal basis, that will be U1, U2, U3. Now let us see orthogonal complements. If S is a non-empty set of inner product space V, then S perp, which consists of all those elements of that space such that inner product of x comma y is 0, where y belongs to S. So inner product of x and y is 0 for every element of S. This S perp is called the orthogonal complement of S. This S perp will be a subspace of V for any subset S of V. So we can clearly see that inner product of 0 with any element of V is 0. So 0 perp is V, and similarly V perp is singleton 0. Also, if we see in R3 and take S equal to Z axis, then XY plane is orthogonal to X axis, so S perp will be the XY plane. Next example, if W is equal to span of E1, E2, we have to find W perp. So let X is equal to ABC be any element of W perp. If we take inner product of X comma E1, we get A, and that should be 0 because X belongs to W perp. Similarly, X comma E2 is B, which is again 0. So X will be just 0 comma 0 comma C, which is Z axis. So W perp is equal to span of E3. Now next we see the adjoint of a linear operator. If suppose T is a linear transformation from V to W with inner products on V defined by inner product subscript 1 and for W it is subscript 2, then the function T star from W to V is called adjoint of T if Txy under the inner product defined for W is equal to X comma T star Y for every x in V and y in W. Now, this theorem states the existence and the uniqueness of the adjoint operator T star. Now in this theorem we see that whenever V is a finite dimensional inner product space and beta is an orthonormal basis for V and T is a linear operator on V, the matrix generated by T star, the adjoint operator, is same as the adjoint of the matrix generated by T. So using this we can find the adjoint operator T star. So suppose you are given that T is defined as 2 iota A1 plus 3A2 comma A1 minus A2. You can generate the matrix T beta, find the adjoint of this matrix. So it will come out to be minus 2 iota 1, 3 and minus 1. So you can write T star of A1 A2 as 2 iota minus 2 iota A1 plus A2 and second row 3A1 minus A2. So now we see how to find minimal solution using the least square approximation. A minimal solution is a solution S to Ax plus B, Ax equal to B if norm of S is less than equal to norm of U for every solution U. So how to find this? If suppose you are given this system of equation, construct A the coefficient matrix and B is equal to the RHS side. The minimum to find the minimal solution, you have to find some solution U to A star x equal to B. A star is equal to, you can compute A star, take product of A and A star. Consider the system of equation, rewrite the system of equation from this and find any one solution to this system of equation. You are writing this as U, you can find any solution. Now this S equal to A star U will be your minimal solution to the given system. Next we come to the normal and self-adjoint operators. Let V be an inner product space and T be linear operator on V. Then we see that T is normal if T star is equal to T star T. And any real or complex matrix A is normal if A star is equal to A star A. So we can see in this examples, whenever you have T defined from R2 to R2 and the matrix representation comes out to be this, cos theta minus sin theta cos theta, and you see that A star is equal to A star A, so T is normal. Similarly for a skew symmetric matrix, that is A transpose is equal to minus A, then A is normal because A transpose is equal to A transpose A, which will be equal to minus A square. Now in this theorem, we have T, which is a linear operator on a finite dimensional inner product space, and the characteristic polynomial of T splits. Then there exists an orthonormal basis beta for V such that this T beta will come out to be an upper triangular matrix. We have done the proof earlier also. Now the self-adjoint operators are those for which T is equal to T star, or the corresponding matrix A is equal to A star. So let T be a linear operator on a finite dimensional real inner product space V, then this T is self-adjoint if and only if there exists an orthonormal basis beta for V consisting of eigenvectors. So T is self-adjoint, you can apply the lemma, you will see that A is equal to T beta, which is an upper triangular matrix. Take the adjoint A star, which will be equal to T star, and we have done this, T beta star is equal to T star beta and T star is equal to T because it is self-adjoint. So you get that A and A star are both upper triangular and are equal, therefore A is a diagonal matrix and beta must consist of eigenvectors of T. Last we come to orthogonal projections in spectral theorems. Now V is an inner product space and T be a projection. We say that T is orthogonal projection if RT perp is equal to NT and NT perp is equal to RT. Now Let us see this theorem that V is an inner product space and T be a linear operator on V. Then T is an orthogonal projection if and only if T has an adjoint T star and T square is equal to T is equal to T star. So suppose T is an orthogonal projection. Now since T square is equal to T, because T is a projection map, we only need to show that T star is equal to T. Now V is equal to RT direct sum NT. RT perp is equal to NT. So now we calculate inner product of x comma ty and inner product of tx comma ty. So we will see that both will be equal and thus the T star exists and T is equal to T star. For second part, if you have T square is equal to T is equal to T star, you want to show that RT is equal to NT perp. So you have to first show that RT is contained in NT perp. So take any element of RT, take inner product with element of NT, you will see it will come out to be 0. So we will get that RT is contained in NT perp. Similarly, if you take any element of NT perp, you have to show it is contained in RT. So take any element of NT perp which is Y. To show it is in RT, you have to show Y is equal to T of something. We will show that Y is equal to T of Y. That is, we are going to show that this norm of T y minus Ty square is equal to 0. So thus we will get that RT is equal to NT perp, and so we will get that RT perp is equal to NT double perp which contains NT. So we will see finally that RT perp is equal to NT. Now the spectral theorems. If suppose T is a linear operator on a finite dimensional inner product space V over F with distinct eigenvalues lambda 1 to lambda k, assume that T is normal if F is equal to C and that T is self-adjoint if F is equal to R. For each I from 1 to k, let Wi be the eigenspace of T corresponding to eigenvalue lambda I, and let Ti be the orthogonal projection of V on Wi. Then the following statements are true, that V can be written as direct sum of Wi's, and if Wi dash denote the direct sum of subspaces Wj, then Wi perp is equal to Wi dash. Third part, Ti Tj is equal to delta Ij Ti. Fourth, I is equal to T1 plus T2 till Tk. And last, that T can be written as lambda 1 T1 plus lambda 2 T2 till lambda k Tk. Now the set of eigenvalues lambda 1 to lambda k of T is called the spectrum of T. The sum which is written in the fourth part, I is equal to T1 plus T2 till Tk, is called the resolution of the identity operator induced by T. And the sum written in the fifth part is called the spectral decomposition of T. This spectral decomposition of T is unique up to order of its eigenvalues. Now let us see this corollary, that if F is equal to C, then T is normal if and only if T star is equal to G of T for some polynomial T. So first suppose that T is normal, then T is equal to lambda 1 T1 plus lambda 2 T2 till lambda k Tk, which is the spectral decomposition of T. Taking adjoint on both sides, we finally get that there is a polynomial G such that G lambda I is equal to lambda I bar. Thus we get G of T is equal to T star. Second corollary, if F is equal to C, then T is unitary if and only if T is normal and mod lambda is equal to 1 for every eigenvalue lambda of T. So if T is equal to lambda 1 T1 plus lambda 2 T2 till lambda k Tk with the spectral decomposition of T, if mod of lambda is equal to 1, then calculate T star, you will get I, which is the, and hence this T is unitary. Third corollary, if F is equal to C and T is normal, then T is self-adjoint if and only if every eigenvalue of T is real. Last corollary, Let T be as in the spectral theorem with spectral decomposition. T is equal to lambda 1 T1 plus lambda 2 T2 plus lambda k Tk. Then each Tj is a polynomial of T. So choose a polynomial Gj such that Gj of lambda I is equal to lambda ij. Then Gj of T is equal to, just put lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda till lambda k. That will be equal to lambda ij. So this will be equal to lambda ij is the Kronecker delta, which will be 1 only when I is equal to j. So this will be equal to Tj. Thank you for watching this video.